Hello, my name is Pavel, welcome back to my channel. I have always wanted to go to a local charity shop, pick out the worst looking movie based on its cover and watch it and see what secrets it holds, because I always stress about what movies to watch. And today, I don't want to stress, I just want to go find the worst looking movie and watch it because I feel like it's going to be fun. I'm not going to know what to expect and I feel like it's just going to be, we're going to find some gems. And I feel like that's all I can have to say for the intro, aside from the fact that my plant is dying. And well, yeah, rest in peace, plants. But I'm so excited to do this because I really hope I find something like really unique, something I've just never heard of. And I just want this video to be spontaneous, fun, and have some like super strange movie that I can review, because that would be absolutely incredible. So I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to go to the local charity shop and find the worst looking movie that I can find. Let's go. Hello. I have found my DVD and I cannot believe the find that I got. Look at this. Holy God. I will show you a different clip, but it is a it is a Godzilla movie, right? But it's in German and I believe it's a Japanese movie, but it's of Godzilla in German. So it's obviously going to have like German subtitles. So whenever I'm going to be watching this, I'm going to have no idea what's going on, but look at this cover. This looks like Gremlins with like really bad Photoshop, and just everything about this movie, whenever I saw it, and the fact that it was free in a charity shop, I was like, oh my God, this is like a perfect sign. This is the movie that I'm meant to be watching for this video because it looks absolutely perfect. For me, Godzilla, I've only watched one Godzilla movie, as embarrassing as that is. I've watched Godzilla -1 and I had an incredible time with that movie despite two kids throwing popcorn the entire movie. We're not going to get into that. But whenever I saw this on the shelf, I had to get it because look, the photos on the back look super funny. And also, I've made a video where I watch a foreign movie in a language that I obviously don't understand, and whenever I was in France. So this time I think I'm going to be watching a Japanese movie in German of Godzilla, but I feel like Godzilla is a perfect one because even if I don't understand everything that the characters are saying, it's basically going to be like a massive monster taking over a city and killing people. And I've always been told like the old Godzilla movies are incredible, but also by looking at this cover, I feel like this cover, what if this isn't even a real movie? What if this is like a knockoff Godzilla that some student made in class for like film college or something like that? Because if that is, I just feel like I'm gonna have an incredible time with this. We have Godzilla und die, okay, here goes my great German, und die Urweltruppen. Yeah, I actually studied German for a few years, but you can tell that I was a child and obviously knew nothing. I'm so excited for this. But I feel like I don't even have a DVD player. Anyway, let's get home, put this on, and watch. I can't. It looks so good. I'm so excited. This is... maybe I should do this more often. Film starten. Ooh, hello. I have watched this movie and I think the title means, oh, actually, look, new review hat. It's too tight on my big head, but it's a Kinds of Kindness hat that I won in a giveaway. What the hell? When do I ever win giveaways? But anyway, I've watched this movie and it was absolutely incredible in so many ways. I did not expect this movie from 1964 to be so good and like so detailed and everything looks so good. I didn't realize that this movie was from the 60s until I was holding the box in my hand and I was like, holy crap, this is from the 60s and it looks so good. But basically, long story short, let's just be very honest. Did I understand any of the dialogue until they said something like, wait, they said something like radiation, and I was like, oh, okay, it's radiation. But anything else that I understand in German? No. So a lot of the dialogue obviously in this movie went over my head, but that's fine because I feel like I picked the perfect movie for this. Godzilla versus Moth, I guess what it means, like maybe Godzilla and the Moth or something along those lines, because Godzilla isn't really about like the dialogue. Whilst the dialogue really helps, and in Godzilla -1, the dialogue and the emotion that you got from the characters, because you ended up caring so much about them and knowing their backgrounds and their relationships, obviously helped elevate the emotion of the movie so much. But in this movie, I was perfectly fine, and I feel like I was able to actually piece together the story fairly well just from watching it, and I feel like that's a sign of really good visual storytelling. But long story short, we see the moth, it has an egg and it's washed up on the shore, and the rich people of the city or the town are like, how can we exploit this? How can we profit from this and be extremely greedy? And the moth comes back and everybody, like, I think there's like journalists and various people are like, oh, we need to, you know, like give this egg back. And to the corporate people, to the rich people who are trying to protect the egg, guess what? I'm going to wreck all of your plans. I'm going to destroy all your families, all your houses, and the egg and everything included because I do not care. And the contrast between the moth and Godzilla is absolutely perfect because they complement each other. And whilst we don't really see a lot of action on the screen until like the last 30 or maybe 20 minutes, I feel like having these two characters, it's just perfect balance. And I feel like what worked for me in -1 was the fact that we just had very strong ideas of the relationships and we had a lot of emotional depth. Whilst we didn't have that in the characters of this story, I feel like you were able to like get a good balance of everything because of the two main characters, because of the moth and Godzilla, and they have a fight towards the end of the movie. And again, I cannot emphasize this enough, how good this looks from the 60s. I was looking at this, I was like, how do you even make this? So impressive, so impressive. I haven't even read a single note off my laptop. I need to get over to my laptop. Why am I so excited about this? Well, I haven't bought a DVD in genuinely like 5 years. And this is, how depressing is this? Physical media, I'm just not into. It's too expensive for me. Long story short, whenever I bought this, it's just like the process of putting a DVD into the player, even though into my microwave, my PlayStation microwave, I guess. It's just a process that I really miss, and I suppose I haven't really done that since I was a child, and doing it again almost made it feel like childlike in a good way. It made me feel nostalgic, sitting down, curtains closed, watching a movie that I don't understand the language of, but that doesn't really matter, let's forget about that. Just sitting down and watching the movie, and I think the process of that elevated this movie a few stars for me because I just loved it. And the music in this movie, the do 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 do, this, if that was created in the 60s, it still holds up now. And when it came on, I was like, oh, this is so cool. And everybody, like the drip, oh, everybody looked so good. The outfits, everybody looks so stylish, even when they're not even trying to look stylish. I loved it so much. I'm not gonna lie, at the start it took me a little while to get into the movie because obviously it's not in my language, but I feel like that's justifiable. But from the very start, we see like water destroying things, we see like the world turning into chaos, and I feel like this movie might be, I don't know, it probably is a thing, but I know nothing about Godzilla. It can be related to how nature has its own course and us people will never have a say in that. And I feel like Godzilla kind of showcases and is like an example of the nature's force, and then it just destroys everything human does because nature has its own plan, and I feel like us humans can do absolutely nothing about it. It reminds me of The Green Knight, that we will never overpower nature, and I feel like this movie kind of showcases that because we see the government trying to make all these plans. They're trying to take over. They have armies. They're getting people from America to come over with ships to destroy everything. But Godzilla, the symbol of nature, is just going to do what it wants, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. And even though you think you have stopped it at the end, when you think he's drowning, blah, 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 he comes back. And I feel like it's a cool symbolism. And I don't know if that's any true. Maybe that's just a weird theory that I came up with. But whenever I was watching this, I was like, hey, that kind of makes sense. And I wrote it down. And I feel like if you view it through that lens, it makes it extremely interesting. And especially for me, when I was not understanding anything they were saying, I was like, oh, okay. Him destroying everything humans have made and the humans thinking they have any say over this is a good metaphor for how nature will outlive us all. And I think, as depressing as that is, it's also very interesting. This movie also had some supernatural elements that I obviously had no idea what was going on. There was like these two twins. I feel like they like belonged to the moth or something like that, but these two twins, they came in like a little box and they were tiny and they were just kind of like telling people what to do. And I think they were basically being like, hey, go protect the egg. They were like the voice of good reason. Not really sure what that meant. And you know, I am not even going to pretend to know. Yeah, I did think that the wasp looked a little bit silly, but I'm going to give it a pass because it was the 60s, but then at the same time, Godzilla looked really cool. And I find it very interesting how Godzilla's general shape hasn't changed in like 60 years. And I think that is extremely cool that it's not like obviously it's developed, but the overall like outline and the general style is still there, and it's so cool. And I think this was a perfect movie because I didn't understand any of the politics, but to an extent, let's pretend we're Godzilla. We don't need to understand the politics because this movie is just about having fun, destroying things. There's probably a lot of criticism on like corporate greed and the rich and blah blah blah, but for me, watching it just as a movie where it's Godzilla wrecking things and fighting a big moth and then just going nuts, I love that, and I had an incredible time with this movie. I really enjoyed it, and I feel like I need to do that more. I just need to get out there, just pick up a random DVD that I know nothing about, maybe in English the next time, and watch it because I can't stop saying it. It was really fun. If you can't tell, I'm happy. I had a really good time and I really enjoyed that. Have you watched Godzilla und die Urwildlippen? Have you watched that movie? If you have, please let me know what you think about it, because I enjoyed it. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. And yeah, that was fun. I have nothing else to add, but thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye. Goodbye.